Good morning, everybody. I'm waiting another minute or so for a few people to jump on, and then we'll kick off. So, talk amongst yourselves. Back with you very shortly, and I'll do some introductions. Good morning, Evan. I think you're on mute. I saw your mouth move. I see you saying hello.
Yes, I am on mute. Hey, Graham, how you going?
Very well, thanks. How's the world of Kambala today?
I haven't been outside, so it's been busy. But it's going okay this time of year.
Yeah, certainly a busy time of year for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Morning, John O too, by the way. I didn't say hello before, very remiss of me. Look, I think we might kick off because I'm conscious that people have busy lives and lots to do, and all the people that will join us in a short moment can catch up with us. Excuse me, where we're going, I guess. First of all, thanks very much for taking the time. I do know most people on the call. For those of you that I don't, I lead the sales and marketing function for Acicom. Been here for quite some time, some many years. What we're trying to achieve today is for just to, I guess, reiterate the importance of the human factor in that cybersecurity space. And I'm very conscious that a lot of you would be across this to some degree or other. But there's, and without being a scaremonger, there's obviously an increase in cyber risk and ransomware attacks and those sorts of things across not just education, but across the broader commercial and education sectors. And the list goes on about what sort of things that AI and others are developing in this space. So it's certainly a hot topic for a lot of us. Very fortunate to have on the call today Kim and Ali from Friendly Fishing, Australian-owned company, Australian-focused organisation, and I think that's the key reason that we actually partner with them as Acicom, and obviously we'll learn a little bit more about that as we progress through the next 30 to 40 minutes. So the agenda, very easy, very straightforward. Short presentation from Ali just on the solution, bit of an overview, and then we'll get into the meat of it, and Kim will be running through. Oh, there we go. We've got the agenda on the screen. Thanks, Ali. Then a bit of a demo from Kim. Please make sure if you do have questions, just to throw them in the chat or even just jump off mute and speak to us as a group along the way. There will be a Q&A session right at the end, but look, we don't want to be too formal. Just throw the questions in as you go along the way. So, quick introduction. Ali's been with Friendly Fishing for quite some time, in fact, in the cyber industry for 6 to 8 years, across quite a number of different vendors. So he brings a lot of experience in that space. Kim is a sales engineer for Friendly Fishing. Again, quite deep experience across many facets of the cybersecurity space as well. And we're fortunate to hear some of her real life experiences, which she'll share with us as she does the demo later. So without further ado, Ali, if you want to take the floor and give us a quick intro. Oh, by the way, we're looking to do 30 or 40 minutes max, so keep some time back in your day. And a reminder again, if you do have questions, just throw them into the chat or speak up as we go through it. Thanks, Ali.
Awesome. Thank you, Graham. Thank you for the kind introduction, and really excited at the opportunity to be here and share a little bit more about some of the work that we're doing with the education sector. Right, it remains to be one of our top focus verticals as a business, right? Just because we know a lot of the challenges that come right with educating people, getting people up to speed, and ultimately building a cybersecurity culture. Right? Because your humans, your end users, they're your last line of defense. You can have the most beautiful, flashiest technology in the world, but unfortunately we see today, and in the threat landscape at the moment, a lot of people are clicking on stuff they shouldn't be clicking on, forwarding emails, etc. So the exciting stuff from a Friendly Fishing standpoint will come during Kim's section, obviously the demo, which will be showcasing the platform and everything that we do. But I like to just talk a little bit more about the problem to begin with. Friendly Fishing as a business has been around for over 10 years. We were developed in Australia. Everything that we do is Australian focused, from the content, training, phishing emails that we send out to users, right? One of the biggest key differentiators that we have is our entire learning and development team is onshore. Right, so they're scattered across Australia. These are the people that speak to our customers day in, day out to gain an understanding of, okay, what would you like from a training perspective, right? What's relevant to you today? And as a result, we don't focus too much on the global threat landscape. Sure, there's probably bits and pieces that are relevant, but we like to focus on what's happening in Australia and more specifically, what's happening in the education sector. What are we seeing become more and more prevalent, right? I think if you went out and read every single report that's out there from Gartner, Forrester, anyone that does some sort of cybersecurity threat intelligence report, the figures are the same and they're still very frightening. Phishing continues to be a very big problem. And as a result, people are clicking on stuff. A lot of phishing emails are coming from AI at the moment. AI is a very hot topic, as you know. I'm sure every conference you attend, or all the events, they're talking about AI, how it's changing everything for the good, right? But I feel like there needs to be a bit more communication around the bad, right? Because people are using AI to personalize phishing emails. They're using AI to, execute malicious code, send ransomware packages, doing a whole bunch of stuff. And it's important to be able to understand, okay, from an education perspective, how do we lock down the use of AI, right? There's a lot of schools that we speak to day in, day out. They separate their networks. We have our staff on one network, we have students on one network. Somehow students make their way onto the staff network, right? They're asking AI for help. They're doing a bunch of stuff they shouldn't be doing. And as a result, it causes a headache for everyone. So as you can see, right, phishing, compromised credentials, ransomware, brute force hacking, and malware continue to be the number one or continue to be the top incidents that we see take place within the education sector. When we speak to a lot of schools, traditionally security awareness training, or as we like to call it as a broader framework, is human risk management, is something that was very driven and it used to come out of spreadsheets. It used to be the IT manager, holding maybe one lesson a term, getting everyone or recording a training session for everyone to listen to and get their heads around it, right? Whereas now we believe it needs to be continuous program. The foundation of what we do as a business, we want to train people. We don't want to trick them. We don't want people to feel bad about pressing on phishing emails. It's going to happen. We want to use that positive reinforcement. And each and every single person is different, right? There's a lot of us on this call today. Everyone has a different cognitive bias. We all absorb information differently. People like information from a graphic perspective. Some people are reading enthusiasts, so they don't mind a big blob of text that they can just read through and understand. Other people like myself, I like interactive training, right? Clicking on stuff, uncovering stuff, and that helps me retain a lot more information. So here are some of the challenges that we're seeing at the moment with some of the other solutions that are out in market, right? A lot of IT managers or business managers and sometimes principals that we work with, they struggle to get the reporting that they need, right? Clear, concise reporting. I don't need all this additional information. I don't need any fancy jargon. I just want a real-time snapshot of what's happening. Who's clicking on emails? Who's forwarding emails, right? What's the state of our current risk landscape? The other challenge that we see is training teachers, right? Because teachers are, educated professionals that are developing content themselves for students, right? Which puts them at a level where it's very different to someone who works in HR, finance, etc., right? They're very content driven in their roles. So, to begin with, when we built all of our training modules, we made sure that we spoke to a lot of teachers to get their feedback and input. It's very hard to get them to do any training at all, right? So being able to do short, clear, Australian focused courses delivered with an Australian accent resonates a lot with end users, and that allows them to actually just fly through the training. You'll see a lot of organizations monitor something called their click-through rate, which is really important. It's all about, okay, how many people are actually clicking on phishing emails when I do send them out, right? My opinion on this, a click-through rate is really good if you have a real-time snapshot and you're using really good sophisticated phishing emails. We work with some schools where they send out very obvious phishing emails, right? And they send them out during business hours. and everyone just taps each other on the shoulder and says, hey, did you get that funny email from IT? Yeah, I did. I'm not clicking on it, I'm deleting it, right? So you can have a very low click-through rate, but is it really realistic, right? And overall, boosting that cybersecurity culture within the organization. We see the role of information security professionals, IT managers. Information security in itself has become just as big as IT and just as critical. So being able to build a culture around that is a challenge that we see within the education sector as well. I want to delve into a bit of a snapshot into the friendly phishing platform. I'd like to call this our pizza slide in a sense, right? So we've got our training and simulation. So all of we've got over 150 courses in the course catalog, right? We have education focused training, we have role-based training, we have training based on your organization, but based on also the function that you perform within your organization. And Kim will be able to delve into that in a second. We also have a module that we built out, which is called Fish Focus. A lot of schools that we work with don't have the budget to hire 5, 6 people within IT, right? A lot of them are looking to outsource that, a lot look at SIEM/SOC, but that's also very expensive in itself. So being able to quickly analyze reported phishing emails is a challenge that we see within the industry. What Fish Focus does is once your users are reporting their phishing emails, you're able to quickly take an action, right? Do we want to block this email? Do we want to remove this email from everyone's inbox? It's not an initial triage tool. Your SEG should be able to do a lot of that. It's what's slipping through your security email gateway, right? What's getting through that people are reporting, and how do you close the loop? We use an acronym SCAM. So S is for sender, who sent me this email. C is the content. A is the action. You know, hey Graham, please sign this document quickly, or hey, please click on this link. And M is around the management of that, right? How are you going to manage those phishing emails? A lot of organizations don't have the resources to just have someone sitting there day in, day out, having a look at a bunch of reported phishing emails, making sure that they're legit, that they're not. We're just automating that. Elevate Engagement is a service that we've got. It's all around helping build that cybersecurity culture within your environment, right? And we work with this with schools to develop custom content that they can put on their intranet, that they can put on the school website. You know, we have our friends and family, offering that we've built out where we essentially allow some of the training to be ingested by parents at home and younger siblings in order to get them introduced to the world of cybersecurity as soon as possible and to make sure that they've got that understanding as they progress with their lives. The last component is the managed services. So essentially, our platform is highly automated. It's very light touch, but we still have a lot of schools that are one-man, two-man bands managing the entire IT network, and they want to rely on us to just look after it. Just send me some reporting. And that's what we do, right? We'll set the training courses that we recommend for your industry. So everything that's education focused. We schedule all the phishing campaigns. We run everything on your behalf, and we send you some reports. So as you can see, we've heavily focused on the education sector for the last 7 to 8 years. We've probably got over 1,000 customers in Australia alone, right? I would probably say about 40 to 45% of our customers come from the education sector, right? Because they trust the platform. It's local. It's highly automated. We update almost 5 to 6 new courses each and every single month, and we always are constantly refreshing what we have from an education standpoint. That's enough from me. Don't want to bore anyone else with any more slides, so I'll probably hand over to Kim, and we can get into the platform.
Thanks for that, Ali. Yep. Hi, everyone. Thanks for the introduction earlier, Graham. But just to reiterate, my name is Kim. I'm a sales engineer at Friendly Phishing, and today I'll be taking you through the demo of our main product, the phishing and training platform, and also a bit more of a deeper dive into our empathetic train not trick approach and what that means. Do feel free again to raise your hand or pop a question in chat if you do have one. Otherwise, I'll just get started. So what you can see here is the administration portal of the Friendly Phishing platform. It's where you'll be able to configure all of your phishing and training blocks for the next 3 years or so and just leave it running. The Learning Paths tab here has a Gantt chart and calendarized view of all the different blocks that are running on the platform. Definitely something that you probably won't see in other platforms, and very easy user experience and interface to manage. So the baseline is what we're going to start with when you first join with Friendly Phishing. It is an examination phishing test that will establish your initial company risk and also be used to measure the progress of your organization every 6 to 12 months thereafter. Each employee will receive one of our most sophisticated templates where if they do click on a link, they'll just be taken to a new tab page or Google Home landing page like that. So since they don't know that a test is being run and before they've been told about friendly phishing, we don't want to confuse them with any sort of learnings just yet. We just want them to think that the link is broken in some way. You can see here all the click information is anonymized by default. This is also because, it's before any training has been done officially and before they've been told about their testing. So we don't want to call anyone out specifically, but we do want to know what the initial click-through rate is so that we can measure it, the progress thereon after. So after the baseline is complete, we have several communication collateral that we recommend sending out and also to support you to let your staff know about what to expect. This is things like videos or email templates about our learning program, the phishing simulations they'll have to be on the lookout for, as well as how to access their training, and then also things about how to report these emails once they receive them. When we begin our trainings, ideally, we want to be syncing up to some kind of user directory. So whether using Entra ID, Okta, on-premise AD, things like that, that's something you'll be able to sync across. And we do recommend syncing across different departments or different attributes to split up the training into role-based sort of training programs as well. So the learning journeys here allow you to set a curriculum of training for different types of staff, whether or not you want to split corporate staff from teachers, from students even as well. That's something we definitely recommend for all the different sorts of information that they'll be needing to know specifically. In addition to this, just to jump ahead a little bit, we do have a high-risk learners report that will be able to collate all the high-risk learners that are, clicking on several simulations in a row, those learners that you really want to keep an eye on. It's an attribute in the platform that you can assign to our Smart Groups feature as well, which will automatically pull them into a learning journey. It's not something you have to pull a report for at the end of the month and schedule them into training. It's all automated. Once you set up at the beginning what courses you want them to complete, they'll automatically join those learning journeys and join the rest of the curriculum learners there as well. Now, our campaigns are the ongoing phishing simulations that run on a monthly basis. Essentially, you just have to decide the start date that you want them to begin, and then after that, they will repeat on a monthly basis for the rest of time, essentially. So definitely super easy to set up, nothing you have to worry about on a month-by-month basis. And what templates users will receive each month are dependent on their learner sophistication level. So we use ranked templates at Friendly Phishing. That means that, the same way you want to train any sort of new skill you have, train a new muscle, you want to start with easier challenges first. So everyone will start at level 1. These level 1 templates are super simple. There's grammatical errors, spelling mistakes, things like that. It's very obvious that something suspicious is going on there and it's not coming from a genuine sender. And as users are able to identify these templates and follow the correct process, they'll automatically be moved up to higher levels and eventually to level 3, which are the templates I'm showing you now. You can see there's a lot more masquerading of popular brands, a lot more complexity within the templates. There's something we use called liquid code that will pull information in the platform as well as on a per user basis to make it especially complex and also unique to other users that might receive this template as well. So it defeats the sort of meerkat effect when you try and warn other users of something that is going on when they notice a phishing simulation. On this page, you'll also be able to view the statistics of every single template that has been sent out to the platform across all other Friendly Phishing customers in case you want to do things like spear phishing, which is another type of activity you can run on the platform, which essentially is selecting out a specific template to target users either a specific time of year, such as, end of year, company party invite, annual background checks, things like that, as well as targeting specific groups of users that might be more vulnerable, such as HR, a change of superannuation provider, things like that. Going into our learning methodology a bit more now, our train not trick methodology means we don't want users to feel like the IT team is tricking them into falling for these phishing simulations and having a negative output and outlook on the sort of IT training that we want to run in a security program. So if a user clicks into a phishing simulation, they'll actually be taken to this landing page here where it's brandable with your own logos and colors, and it will let the user know they've clicked on a simulation, but it's just a part of the security program, and these are the red flags that they should have looked out for. So whether it's that unusual domain name, sense of urgency, authority, curiosity, it'll be specific to the template that they clicked on so that they know what to look out for next time, and then also give them the process that they should have followed in place of clicking into that email. So whether it's our Fish Reporter, which is our solution for reporting suspicious emails, Service Desk, or even just company policy, letting them know as a part of your organization, they have a responsibility to be on the lookout for phishes. That's a sort of an overview on all the different activities you can run on the learning path. Just to clarify and summarize all the things I went through so far, since I know it's a lot of information. What we're doing is we're matching up the learning activities against the Kirkpatrick learning model, which is recommended by NIST Cybersecurity framework. So initially, we're testing the reaction of your organization or school by running a baseline phishing test that will get that score that will measure progress on. Then we're addressing the learners with learnings. So those are the courses that we provide on the platform so that they are equipped with the knowledge that they need to know. What other organizations typically do, or other vendors, will just have these two different sections on repeat. And what we typically find is, if this is run on a quarterly basis, we can't expect learners to remember information that they learnt 3 months ago when they're faced with another phishing test, which is why we introduce the behavior section, which is introducing our campaigns that run on a monthly basis. We don't actually care too much about the click-through rate of these phishing simulations. It's more as providing an opportunity for learners to demonstrate their new behavior by reporting these emails, practicing the new skills that they've learnt during the e-learning, and applying it to their behavior. And then later on, I'll take you through our reporting where you can analyze the results, risk scoring. I mentioned a little bit before already about the high-risk learners report and how we can address those specific learners. And I'll give more information on the other reporting that we have in the platform as well. Again, feel free to ask any questions. Otherwise, I will move on to our training catalog. So in our course catalog, we have over 140 courses in the platform at the moment. Our learning and development team is based in Melbourne, and they'll develop courses up to 5 per month, depending on the length of the course. They all come from various tertiary education backgrounds. You can see here our introductory course. All of our courses will run for generally up to 10 minutes, but with our longest course only running from 10 to 15 minutes. As an example is our introductory course here, teaching the user everything they need to know about identifying a phishing email. Ali mentioned it before a little bit already, but the SCAM acronym that we've developed, identifying the sender, contents, actions in the emails, and then how to manage those phishing emails. So our L&D team have found that having a character-led element is the best way for users to learn, especially for students. It's something that they can resonate with and self-insert into. But if you do have a more corporate style of staff, then we do have a classic version that takes away the character-led element as well. So we really do try and cater for all sorts of different learning styles within the platform. You can see here all the different styles that we have with our SCAM 123, which follow the KSA model of learning, identifying the knowledge, the skills, and then actually applying those skills in the application course. Another part of that is the adaptive style of learning, which is taking users who should already know the information, giving them a pre-test before they complete the rest of the course, so that the course is built up based on the incorrect answers. So it's a much shorter version of our introductory course, good for people like IT teams or the high-risk learners group who should already know this information. We also have a lot of gamified courses as well that are really useful for people who are more kinesthetic learners and learn in that way. I'll actually show you our Fish Finder game, which is a really good example of that. I'll go through here and show you what that's like. So here is our game. I'll put through my name. Ready? Let's go. So this style of learning is very similar to the behavior building that I was talking about in the Kirkpatrick model. It's where instead of reading information on a screen, it's information that they've learned previously, and then they actually get to exercise it. So spotting all the fishy signs. They click into an incorrect answer, it'll give them that. Otherwise, if they're able to identify, you know, that sense of curiosity in the subject line, the suspicious domain name in the sender information, you know, okay, this is the action that they're asking me to do, and there is a sense of urgency there. All sorts of things. Learning to hover over links to identify suspicious domains as well. Definitely something that is good for those kinesthetic learners that, you know, might tune out otherwise in other security awareness training that might be, yeah, a bit more draining for them. So we have topics all throughout the cybersecurity space, not just phishing. You can see things like here, Wi-Fi situational awareness, cloud security, things like that. Supply chain risk is probably quite a big one. And then the more modern types of phishing and scams, safe use of captures on websites that might actually be ads, things like that as well. We have a very strong focus on the ANZ region. So in government guidelines, you'll see the largest suite of Australian courses in any vendor. And another thing to be on the lookout for in regards to other vendors is that we update our courses at least once a year, making sure that all the information is relevant, especially with our fluctuating government guidelines. It's definitely something to be on the lookout for. And we do deep dives on each state as well. So these are privacy acts that have been recently published for each state that will be particularly relevant for your organizations as well, especially the New South Wales one's Privacy and Personal Information Protection Act there. Industry-based courses is where we have quite a few for education. So we cater not only to the staff in schools, but for the students as well. For that sort of K to 6 range, the cyber education courses for kids and teens, as well as our teen edition courses in regards to smishing, phishing, all the things that they might encounter in there as well. So one thing I want to point out here is we really try and take the culture of training outside of the compliance platform. So there's several different, we call them campaign toolkits that we run throughout the year to send to you to be able to share in cyber newsletters or any sorts of things that you might share on an intranet with your organization and your staff and students. This is an example of one that we run over the Easter period. You can see just specific tips for them to use in their own personal life to have that personal gain and engagement with the things that they're learning at work. So, of course, during Easter, lots of online shopping scams, clickbait, things like that, for events that they might want to be RSVPing to as well. 12 Days of Fishmas, another fun one. You know, lots of people are posting things on social media, how to be safe about that, and what information to avoid posting. Tax time scams, obviously a big one as well. Cybersecurity Awareness Month, each year we'll pick a few different topics that are popular and trending throughout the year. I think this year's one has ones on AI especially, so definitely a good one to be on the lookout for. And a special campaign that we ran for organizations that really resonated with our content is our Friends and Family campaign. So this is one that you would want to share with, your own family, your own adults that you know in your personal life, your parents or your spouses, things like that. It's for people who find the training at work so engaging that they want to bring it back home. So you can see here, safety online, password scan for scam, social engineering, things to be able to protect the own people in your life as well as the little ones. So maybe teachers, own children and things like that. We know how much they're online, probably more than we are nowadays as well. In addition to sending out all the courses, we have different collateral to support the different courses that are sent out as well. So once they complete the courses online, we do recommend sharing the ebooks to them either through Cyber Newsletter or just through the intranet, as well as having specific posters that you can hang up around the offices, around the schools as well, to keep that security truly top of mind and to kind of expand the different ways that they're engaging with the content that we have in the platform. The other courses on the platform, phishing evolution, all the different ways that phishing has evolved through the years, angler phishing, people who are posting on social media, asking for reviews and things like that, but they're not actually real people, AI-powered scams. Of course, we know how people are using phishing nowadays with Mockingbird and things like that. Role-based courses. So this is where you can have a deeper dive on the different types of staff that you have at your organization. For people who are particularly more technical, especially those IT teams. And then we have our true cybercrime stories. So these are stories that have actually happened to other organizations, of course. The CrowdStrike outage is probably one of the most popular ones. I think you'll be seeing one about the Western Sydney universities here soon as well. And it's just about contextualizing this training for staff so that they know it is something that can happen to you as it has happened to other organizations as well. That is quite a brief overview on all of our training and the learning methodologies we have behind there. There's just a couple other things I want to take you through today. One of those is our Fish Reporter, our reporting button for suspicious emails, and then going through our dashboard. After the technical demo, we will have a bit more time for questions and just a review of everything that we talked through today too. So the Fish Reporter is our solution for reporting suspicious emails. Ali mentioned a little bit before about our Fish Focus tool, which is our email triage, which is what this button will link to as well to give more of a security analysis on each of the emails that have been reported and have managed to slip through that email gateway. So you'll be able to put through a reported mailbox that will be monitored supposedly or by the IT team that is managing these sort of reported emails. The emails that are reported can be reported through our reporting button here. We have a different version for Outlook as well as Google for those schools that are using Gmail, and you'll be able to run both concurrently within the same platform. So the important part about using our button is being able to have this workflow. If it's any of our phishing simulations or training emails, they'll have feedback on what exactly they reported. Thank you for identifying a phishing email. If that communication piece at the beginning wasn't performed too well and they report out training emails, they can know that it's mandated training as well. And then anything that is not in those categories is going to be reported to that security team. So there's not anything that you'll have to manage and count through to determine the click-through rates for our phishing simulations and things like that. Another important integration of our button is our button for those using Microsoft will be able to replace the Microsoft button one for one. So it'll appear in the exact same place in the ribbon of the bar and any user reported settings that you have existing in your Microsoft portal will flow through using our button as well. So there's no other configurations you'll need to make, especially if you're already using other vendors and security email gateways software that is using the Microsoft button. It'll all flow through and use our button as well. So no changes required there. I'll go through our reporting now. So we have two different types of reports in the platform. The first is our dashboard style report, which the executive report is a demonstration of. So exactly that, designed at the executive suite or C-suite level. It's just a high level overview of all the different statistics you need to know about our phishing and our training information. Our click-through rate, reported emails, things like that, the trend over time, and you'll be able to see here the different dashboards that do a deeper dive into each of those topics, phishing and training. The phishing dashboard will show a lot more deeper information about, the device that people are clicking on, the browser that they're clicking on, simulated click behavior as well. So whether it's the URLs, attachments, credential capture, QR codes that are being clicked on, and then our industry trend. So this is analyzing against all other friendly phishing customers that we have, and you'll be able to measure your rate versus the industry rate, so education in this circumstance, on a month-by-month basis. And you'll be able to compare, maybe towards the end of the year, it's getting a bit lower, and it's most likely because more people are going on holiday, things like that. So that's how you'll be able to baseline your scores. And we also have a comparison report that will be able to compare against tenor. So that is including your first year against the other organization's first year at Friendly Phishing. You're not going to be measuring against someone who's 5 years into their security program. It'll also allow you to compare internally as well. So if you decide to pull across department attributes for HISI versus IT versus English teachers, things like that, that's something that you'll be able to do as well, depending on what attributes you want to pull across from your user directories. The other style of report we have is our holistic line item reporting, which our training results is an example of, and you'll be able to see here all the different information that you're getting out of the platform is listed here. You can download it as a CSV if you want to do any of your own analysis on the information, as well as sending through a report to specific people as well. So let's say you want all the overdue training to go to the manager of finance, or in your case, maybe specific teachers. You can send this report so that they don't need to view this reporting within the platform. They can just log into their email on a Monday morning and see all the different learners that have not completed their training and chase them up. So again, more information that is offloaded from your role as the cybersecurity or IT team and putting it more onto the managers that you have across your organization.
And that's a 5-minute build, by the way. Got about 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, for sure. There's not too many other reports I wanted to go through. Of course, the high-risk learners I touched before as well. That's going through all the different criteria that you set to identify those high-risk learners. We like to call them the happy clickers in an organization that are constantly clicking on different links that they're having in their inbox, not resonating with the micro lesson training that we have, and where we can address them with that adaptive course and things like that I showed you earlier as well. So click report is going to be all the phishing simulation information, that holistic line item reporting as well, being able to see every single action that is being taken, whether they're just opening the email or actually clicking through, or even submitting credentials on the additional landing page that they go on. Email schedule to be able to show all of our phishing simulations are sent randomly throughout the day on different days of the week as well, and with different templates. So they'll never be able to warn each other of what is going to happen. It's completely randomized in that sense. The only last thing I might go through is our impact report, which is aggregating all the different actions that are being taken on the platform. So the positive actions versus the negative actions, are all collated here, and they're based off ACCC ScamWatch statistics. So they're different values that you can edit yourself if you do feel the need to. Otherwise, we do have those default values within the platform assigned to each action. And you're even able to edit the unit amount as well. So whatever you want to do it to align it more to your school, brand it a bit more fun in some sort of way. We do have a Mexican food company that uses tacos as a custom value. So it's just a more fun way to kind of demonstrate the reporting that you have in the platform. So there's plenty of other things in the platform I can show you. We have reporting APIs, we have role-based access control for different types of users you might want to put in the platform if you do have people you just want to see the reporting but not schedule anything, things like that. We have an interactive guidance to help you onboard yourselves for any common action that you might want to run in the platform. It lets you click on every single button that you need to press in order to achieve the technical setup and tasks. So you have a really guided experience to be able to onboard, not to mention with Secure Assist, we do have a customer success manager that will be able to handhold you on meetings to be able to show you exactly everything you want to achieve and also give advice on what they've seen has succeeded in other organizations, all those lists of schools that you saw earlier that we already have existing as customers. So that is the main platform demo. I might hand it back to Ali. Do you have anything else you want me to go through or any other information you wanted to share? Otherwise, yeah,
We might
we have time for questions at the end.
Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions that they would like to ask, and while you're thinking of that, I guess we only had sort of 35 odd minutes to run through this morning, so it is a fairly high level rushed view. The next steps, if you did have some interest and want to explore this in a little bit more detail or even run a POC in your school, then obviously you can reach out to us and we can set that up with the guys from Friendly Fishing. So anyone else have any questions they wanted to throw into the mix?
Yeah, I'll ask a question. It looks like the campaigns are sort of rolling campaigns. They're ongoing because they're spread out over a long period of time. So then the reporting, is that just on the status at a point in time that you generate the report of all of your users as to what level they're on and how they're going?
Yeah, sure. So our campaigns, they're run on a monthly basis. So you do decide the start date, but then each month will be its own campaign. You can see it's represented here by 16, 17, 18 per month. So the reporting on the dashboard reports, for an example, as well as some of the other holistic item reports, you can select a date range. So if you did want to report on a per campaign, then you can simply select the months that you want to be reporting on. October as an example, and then we also define it by the email type. So specifically just that campaign, you'll be able to report on that individual months there. Did you have any other questions coming off of that?
No, okay, no, that makes sense.
No worries.
Thanks, Stephen. Any other questions that someone would like to throw in the chat or to
I guess one follow-on question is, with our previous solution, we've been tracking sort of like the equivalent of the click-through rate over time. And so I guess that's what your graph is there, but you'd want to extend that to cover a longer period.
Yeah, sure. Do you mean by a year-on-year period or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, we used to report sort of termly, quarterly, we would test and report termly on the students and staff. And so then we would track that over time to show whether we're trending up, trending down, or yo-yoing.
Yeah. For sure. In that circumstance, I would definitely use the comparison report that compares against tenor. So that is going to let you compare against, monthly versus annually and aggregate those different values there. And it'll also, be able to compare those different departments you have within your organization and against other industries as well. So it'll have a lot more information on how you want to break down your data if you want it. On a bigger scale or just month by month, as this example here.
Okay.
With that
Thank
date range there, Kim, can that be changed to a quarter, for example?
If you wanted to report over a quarter, that's something that you can do as well. Just select out what dates on the calendar interface here you can select through as well.
Does that clarify the question there, Evan?
Yeah. If you pick whatever date range you want, whether that matches a term, whether that matches a month, whether that matches a quarter of a year, or that looks good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, unless any further questions, and I don't think there's any in the chat. No, there's not. I guess the next steps for those that would like to pursue it further is to set up a POC or something similar at your site, and we can explore whether this is something that fits your needs internally. But thanks very much to the guys from Friendly Fishing, Ali and Kim, for jumping on today, and obviously all our education customers as well. We do appreciate your time. This recording will be made available, so if you need to recap or to review some of the things that were covered, then you will get a link from our teams with that video to go back and check. But we'll call it quits there. We're just 1 minute over time, so we've done pretty well. Thanks very much for your contribution.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.